There was a time when they did not notice you. You were meant to blend in, to pass through the world unseen, your presence subtle, your fire controlled. But something changed. The ember inside you, the one that was supposed to smolder quietly until its designated time, erupted into an uncontrollable blaze, and in that moment, the entire spiritual grid lit up. They were not prepared for you. They had spent centuries refining their systems, calibrating the world into predictable patterns, ensuring that humanity moved in well-defined lines. Every action, every thought, every outcome was calculated, contained, controlled. And yet, here you are, an anomaly in their equation, a break in their code, a distortion in their carefully curated reality. Your existence has sent ripples through their illusions, warping every algorithm, corrupting every model they built to predict and suppress the emergence of one such as you. If you sense the shift they tried to hide, subscribe now and be part of this awakening. Comment 777 below if you're ready to dive deeper into this truth. Your journey has just begun. Somewhere in the shadows, unseen forces have taken notice of you. They had expected obedience, predictability, compliance, but you have disrupted the carefully crafted order they spent centuries refining. The systems they built were designed to track and control ordinary people, to measure thoughts before they were even formed, to keep the world moving within the lines of their intricate design. Yet you exist outside their calculations. You are an anomaly, a distortion, a variable that cannot be contained. Now, an investigator has been assigned to find you. Not an ordinary detective bound by human laws, nor a bureaucrat drowning in paperwork, but something far more insidious, an entity that operates beyond dimensions, moving unseen between realms, following not just physical footprints, but the imprints you leave in the very fabric of existence. This is no simple search. It is a hunt. They do not pursue criminals or rebels. They hunt those who threaten the status quo. And you, chosen one, have done exactly that. Your presence has shaken the foundation of their carefully structured illusion. They see the ripple effects of your actions, the subtle but undeniable cracks forming in the walls of their control. You have left behind a trail of shattered hierarchies and exposed corruption. Without effort, without intent, you have thrown entire institutions into chaos, simply by existing in your truth. And now, behind closed doors, in places you have never been, in boardrooms where your name should never have been spoken, they whisper about you. How did we miss this one? Where did they come from? Who approved this level of awakening? Their voices are filled with urgency, panic, fear. You have become a crisis they cannot contain, a fire they did not anticipate. You are no longer just an individual. You are a force moving through reality, an unpredictable element that threatens the entire structure they have spent generations maintaining. Their carefully orchestrated world depends on predictability, on control, on the quiet suppression of anything that does not fit within the prescribed limits. But you have shattered those limits. You have stepped beyond their calculations, and now their world trembles in response. And so, they send their hunter after you. They want to understand you, to break you down into data, to decode what makes you dangerous. They do not seek justice, nor balance, nor truth. They seek only to neutralize you before you become something they can no longer stop. They know the moment is drawing near. They can feel it in the shifting tides of energy, in the way their world has begun to fray at the edges. You are no longer just an outlier. You are a turning point. And that, above all else, terrifies them. So they watch, they analyze, they wait for the perfect moment to act. But what they fail to understand is that you are no longer running. They have studied your kind before. They know that brute force alone will not break you. You are not like the others, not so easily subdued by intimidation or fear. No, they are far more cunning than that. They have perfected their methods, refined their strategies, and learned from past failures. Their approach is subtle, insidious, and dangerously effective. They do not come at you with open aggression. Instead, they isolate you. The quiet shifts in your world, so subtle at first that you might have dismissed them as coincidence. The distance growing between you and those who once stood beside you. The calls that go unanswered. The friendships that once felt unshakable, now reduced to vague pleasantries and strained conversations. The invitations that never arrive, the moments of silence that once felt comfortable, now filled with an unspoken tension. This is no accident, it is a strategy. They know that the most powerful force in the universe is not violence but doubt. They plant the seeds of uncertainty, not directly, not forcefully, but through whispers, carefully placed, expertly timed. At first, the doubts come from strangers, fleeting remarks that you brush off without a second thought. You're changing. You've lost your way. Then the voices grow closer. They come from acquaintances, then friends, then those you love most. This isn't like you. Are you sure you're on the right path? Finally, when the walls around you have thinned, when the silence of isolation has taken root, the whispers slip into your own mind. Maybe they're right. Maybe I have gone too far. Maybe I was never meant to do this, because they know that if you ever truly realize who you are, if you fully embrace the fire within you, their world will burn. And so, they seek to keep you small, to make you question, to make you hesitate just long enough for them to reassert their control. But what they fail to understand is this: you were made for this battle. You were forged in fire, and fire does not fear the dark. It consumes it. But it is too late. The moment they feared has already come to pass. You have disrupted the pattern. You have changed the game. The carefully constructed illusion they spent generations perfecting is beginning to fracture, and no matter what they do, they cannot unmake what has already been set into motion. Everywhere you go, the energy shifts. It happens before you even speak, before anyone even sees you. A ripple in the unseen fabric of reality, an invisible force that moves through the air, unsettling the equilibrium. People react instinctively, though they do not understand why. Some are drawn to you, inexplicably compelled by your presence. They lean in closer, unknowingly seeking something they have been missing, something they cannot name. Others recoil, their fear unspoken yet palpable, as if some deep part of them recognizes a truth they are not yet ready to face. You do not need to say a word. Your existence alone alters the landscape. The air itself shifts around you. The molecules vibrate differently in your presence. Conversations take a new direction as if pulled into your orbit. Unspoken rules, those invisible social contracts that dictate how people should behave, who should speak, who should listen, bend and break, rearranging themselves in real time. And they, the ones who have spent lifetimes maintaining control, they do not know what to do with you. Each choice is dangerous. Each strategy carries the risk of failure. If they suppress you, it may only awaken something even stronger within you. If they eliminate you, they may turn you into something even greater, a legend, a martyr, a force beyond their reach. If they recruit you, they risk corruption from within, an infection spreading through the very system they seek to protect. And so, they hesitate. They watch. They wait, hoping, praying that you will be the one to break first. But you won't. They have miscalculated. They assumed you could be broken, that with enough pressure, enough scrutiny, enough carefully placed obstacles, you would eventually fold. They believed that, like so many before you would be worn down, tamed, reshaped, made small enough to fit back into the system they so desperately cling to. But they assumed wrong, because you were never designed for obedience. From the moment you arrived in this world, you were different. They mistook your silence for submission, your patience for passivity, your willingness to observe for weakness. They thought that because you once walked among them, unnoticed, that you were theirs to control. They never realized that you were simply waiting, watching, awakening. Now they see the truth. You were never meant to fit within their framework. You were never meant to play by their rules. The systems they built, the boundaries they established, the false sense of order they imposed upon the world, none of it was ever meant to contain you. And now it won't contain anyone else either, because their greatest fear was never just about you. It was about what you would inspire. They could have tolerated a single disruption, an anomaly that would eventually fade, a lone figure who could be dismissed as an exception. But that is not what has happened. Your presence is a catalyst. Your actions are a contagion. Your truth is a wildfire. And now it is spreading. Everywhere you go, people are beginning to see. They are questioning the limits they once accepted without resistance. They are looking beyond the illusions that once seemed unbreakable. The weight of the system, the expectations, the conditioning, the quiet, suffocating pressure to stay within the lines is beginning to lift. And for the first time, they are breathing freely. This is what terrifies them the most. Not just that you will challenge their authority, but that you will awaken others, that the very foundation of their world will crumble, not through force, but through something far more powerful: awareness. Because once people see the truth, once they recognize the illusion for what it is, they can never unsee it. And you, chosen one, have made them see. The reckoning is no longer approaching. It is here. The system they built, the one they once believed to be unshakable, is now crumbling beneath their feet. The rules they spent generations enforcing have become irrelevant. The framework they relied upon to maintain control no longer holds power over you or over anyone else who has awakened. And yet, they still cling to the illusion. They still believe they have time to restore order, to reclaim control, to pull you back into the reality they designed. But the truth is unavoidable. You cannot return to obscurity. That door has been permanently shut, wiped away by the hand of destiny itself. Even if you wanted to, even if you tried, the path back to smallness, to silence, to invisibility no longer exists. The moment you stepped beyond their boundaries, the moment you shattered the illusion, you became something else entirely, something they can never contain again. And now, the only question left is, what will you do with this power? Will you shrink to make them comfortable? Will you dim your light so they do not have to confront their own shadows? Will you hold yourself back, trying to fit within the collapsing structure of a failing system? Or will you stand tall in the face of their scrutiny? Will you shine even brighter as they try to contain you? Will you embrace the full magnitude of your calling, refusing to be anything less than what you were always meant to be? They hope you will retreat. They pray you will give in, but you won't, because you are the one they feared would come. You are the variable they could not predict. You are the storm they could not prepare for. You are the force they could not stop. And now the world is watching. It is time. Thank you for watching until the very end. Your presence here means everything. The journey has just begun, and I'll see you in the next video. The world is watching. Have you ever felt mocked, dismissed, or rejected by those around you? Perhaps you've experienced loneliness that makes you question whether true love is even meant for you. In the darkest moments, people may laugh at your dreams, call you foolish, and make you feel like you're unworthy of love. But let me tell you this: God has been watching over every tear you shed, every insult, every hardship. The world may not see it yet, but your true love, divinely orchestrated and God-approved, is coming. This isn't just a simple love story. It is the culmination of a higher divine plan, a love story that was written before time began. Now I invite you to take a step toward embracing your divine love story. Hit that subscribe button and comment 777 below to join me on this journey of faith, healing, and transformation. Let's walk together and discover the love God has prepared for you. Your journey has been long and challenging, marked by pain, rejection, and moments of deep sorrow. There were times when you felt like the weight of the world was pressing down on you, and those around you believed they could break you. They couldn't see the truth, that in the hands of the Creator, even brokenness becomes something beautiful. Every wound, every tear, every moment of despair wasn't a mark of weakness, but a sign of divine preparation. You were being shaped, refined, and strengthened for a love that was beyond anything you could imagine. God doesn't waste a single moment. Every heartache you endured, every lonely night you spent wondering when it would end, and every time doubt crept into your heart, all of it was leading you to this point. While you may have felt abandoned or overlooked, those feelings were not a reflection of your worth. They were part of a higher plan, a divine setup. God was setting you apart, preparing you for something far greater than you could have anticipated. The moments when you questioned your place in the world, when you felt invisible or unimportant, those were the moments when God was actively working behind the scenes, orchestrating a plan that would leave you in awe. The rejection you faced along the way was never a reflection of who you are or your value. It was never a sign that you were unworthy or unlovable. No, it was God's redirection. He was clearing the path, removing the people and situations that were not part of His plan for you. Each no you received, each door that was slammed in your face, was actually a blessing in disguise. God was redirecting your life towards something far better, something that you may not have been able to see at the time. He was removing obstacles and aligning the stars in your favor. The path was never meant to be easy because you were being prepared for something extraordinary. While others may have dismissed you or failed to see your worth, God was preparing a love that would see you in ways no one else ever could. He was aligning you with the perfect partner, someone who would appreciate the depth of your soul, someone who would cherish you for who you truly are. Every painful experience, every lonely moment was a part of the grand design. You were being shaped for a love that was destined to be extraordinary. You may have wondered why the journey had to be so difficult, why the waiting seemed endless, or why you faced so many challenges. But know this, God's plan was never meant to harm you. It was meant to refine you, to strengthen you, and to prepare you for a love so pure, so divinely appointed, that nothing could stand in its way. Your heartache wasn't wasted. It was necessary for the transformation you needed to undergo. The struggle you experienced was all part of the divine process, and now, as you stand at the threshold of something beautiful, you will begin to understand why it all had to happen. God was always with you, shaping you for a love that would make everything worth it. It's a love that will leave you speechless, one that will make everything you've gone through make sense. The universe has been aligning everything in your favor, and the love you've been waiting for is about to manifest in ways you never thought possible. Your journey wasn't in vain. It was leading you exactly where you needed to be, toward a love that was always meant for you. Imagine for a moment, you've been through the fire, tested by the harshest trials, and yet here you are, standing strong, unbroken. The fire that once seemed like it would consume you didn't destroy you. It refined you. Every challenge you faced, every painful experience was not meant to pull you under. It was meant to shape you, to forge you into a version of yourself that is capable of receiving a love so profound, so pure, that it surpasses everything you have ever known or imagined. The love that is coming into your life isn't ordinary. It's not the kind of love that burns bright for a moment and then fades. No, this love has been carefully chosen for you by the divine, hand-picked by God Himself, and sealed with His approval. This isn't just any connection between two people, it's a divine partnership, one that carries heaven's stamp of approval. This love was written into your story long before you ever knew it was coming. It is a love that transcends the superficialities of this world and reaches far beyond what you have ever hoped for or expected. This love isn't driven by fleeting attraction or external appearances. It is rooted in something far deeper, something eternal. It's a love that will stand the test of time because it's built on a foundation of purpose. This love has a divine calling, one that will draw you and your partner closer to your higher purpose, a connection that will align your souls with God's plan. It elevates your spirit, drawing you closer to the person you were always meant to be. Where there was once pain, this love will bring healing. Where there was once brokenness, it brings restoration. It lifts you higher than you ever thought possible, showing you a love that is beyond your imagination. The love that is coming isn't just a reward for all you've endured, though it certainly feels like one. It's a fulfillment of God's promise to you. This love is a reflection of the strength you've built, the lessons you've learned, and the faith you've held on to through the hardest seasons of your life. It's a love that will inspire you to become the best version of yourself. You were never meant to settle for anything less than extraordinary, and this love is proof of that. It exceeds every expectation you've ever had, and even more than that. It is God's perfect timing unfolding before you, a divine gift that has been reserved for you because you are worthy of it. It will redefine everything you thought you knew about connection, devotion, and partnership. When this love enters your life, it will fill you with a peace and joy that you never thought possible. This love will transform you, lifting you to heights you never dreamed you could reach, and do the same for the one you share it with. You faced mockery for your faith. People have laughed at your belief in a love that transcends the superficial, a love that goes beyond fleeting attraction and temporary connections. They couldn't understand why you still held on to the idea that true love, real love, was out there waiting for you, that something deeper and more meaningful was worth waiting for. But in those moments, when the doubt, laughter, and ridicule felt overwhelming, I want to ask you, who really has the final say in your life? Is it the world's rejection, or is it God's divine approval? Consider Sarah. She laughed at God's promise that she would have a child, not because she didn't want it, but because her circumstances seemed impossible. She was well beyond the years of bearing children, and when she heard God's promise, it seemed too far-fetched, too out of reach. Yet, despite her initial doubts, God fulfilled his promise, and she held that child in her arms. Then there's Noah, who was ridiculed and mocked for building an ark when there wasn't even a hint of a flood. The world thought he was foolish, obsessed with an idea that made no sense. But when the flood came, Noah was the one who saved his family, the one who saw God's plan come to fruition while everyone else was swept away. These are powerful reminders that God's promises don't fail, even when others mock or doubt them. His word always prevails, regardless of what people say or believe. In much the same way, your waiting wasn't a passive experience. It wasn't a period where you simply sat and did nothing. No, it was an act of active faith. You didn't just wait for love, you trusted in God's timing, his plan for your life. Each day you chose to hold on to hope. Despite the silence, despite the doubt, you were actively participating in a divine process. It may have felt like you were alone at times, that God had forgotten you, but in truth, he was working behind the scenes, preparing you for the love he had set aside for you. The world may have called you foolish or questioned your ability to wait for something more, but your patience was never a sign of weakness. Rather, it was a reflection of a deep, unshakable trust in God's wisdom. While the world's wisdom might call you to rush, settle, or compromise, God's wisdom confounds the wise. His ways are higher, His timing perfect. You might have felt impatient at times, questioning why it was taking so long, but remember this: the waiting process was preparing you for something far greater than what you could have envisioned in your own timeline. Every day you held on to your belief. Every moment you resisted the temptation to settle for less than what God promised. You were strengthening your faith. Your patience, your trust, your unwavering belief in what's to come were the weapons that would ultimately silence every doubter. They didn't see the bigger picture, but God did. He knew that the love He was preparing for you required you to be patient, to trust and to believe, even when it seemed like the world had moved on without you. And now, as the time draws near, all of those who doubted, mocked, or tried to convince you that your faith was misplaced will see the fruit of your perseverance. They will see the power of waiting on God, the beauty of trusting in His timing, and the rewards that come from having faith in something greater than what the world can offer. Your waiting wasn't just about enduring the silence. It was about building the strength and character needed to receive the love that was meant for you. And when that love arrives, it will be a testimony to the world that God's timing is always perfect, and that those who trust in Him will never be disappointed. Your faith, your waiting, and your patience will prove that God's promises always come to pass. They thought they had destroyed you. They believed that your heart was beyond repair, shattered by their words, their actions, and their betrayal. But what they failed to see was that the very ruins they left behind, the pieces they thought they had scattered, were the foundation upon which God was building something magnificent. While they saw only brokenness, God saw the potential for greatness. Your heartache, your loneliness, and your pain were never the end of your story. They were not signs that you had been abandoned or forgotten. Instead, they were sacred moments, the very ground upon which God was working to create something stronger, something far more beautiful than you could have ever imagined. The heartache you felt, the loneliness you endured, and the rejection you faced were not just random moments of suffering. They were the raw materials for a divine transformation. God took every insult, every rejection, and every moment of betrayal and used it to mold you into the unshakable person you are today. Those experiences were not wasted. They were the tools that refined you, built you up, and prepared you for the blessings that were yet to come. What they thought would bury you, what they thought would break you, has now become the very platform from which you will rise. In the moments when you felt defeated, God was doing His greatest work in you. When others walked away, when they rejected you and doubted you, God was refining your spirit, teaching you to trust in Him and in His timing. You were never truly alone, though it may have felt that way. God was with you every step of the way, building you up from the pieces that seemed broken and preparing you for a life of fulfillment, purpose, and divine blessing. Now, as you stand stronger than ever, you can see that what once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle was actually the foundation for something beautiful. The struggles you faced have shaped you into a person who is resilient, compassionate, and ready to step into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. You are not defined by the pain you endured, but by how God has used it to shape you into someone unbreakable. What they saw as the end of your story was only the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter filled with the blessings, love, and purpose that you were always meant to walk in. Your brokenness has turned into a blessing, and now you rise from the ashes, stronger, wiser, and more equipped to embrace the life God has destined for you. This is your moment, and the best is yet to come. Your love story isn't just about you and your partner finding each other. It's about something far greater, a divine connection that will serve as a beacon of light for others. Through your union, the world will witness the undeniable truth that God's promises are real, His timing is flawless, and His love is unstoppable. When your true love finally enters your life, it will not only transform you, but will serve as a powerful testimony to everyone who doubted you. For all the people who questioned your worth, your waiting, and your belief in God's perfect timing, this love will prove them wrong. It will show that the dreams you've held onto weren't foolish. They were divinely inspired, and now they're coming to life. This love will be a clear reflection of God's faithfulness, a testimony that when you trust in His plans, He will never leave you empty-handed. This love will silence every lie that the enemy has whispered in your ear. It will break through the doubts, the fears, and the lies that have held you captive. It will prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that you were always worthy of love, always loved by God, and always destined for something extraordinary. When this divine union unfolds, it will serve as a living testament to God's perfect timing. It's not just about the love you share with your partner, it's about the way that love reflects the power of God's presence in your life. The way this union comes together, the way your hearts align, will serve as proof that when you remain patient, trust in God's process, and stay faithful, the blessings He has for you are far greater than you can imagine. Your love story will be a mirror to others, showing them that they too can trust in God's timing, that their story isn't over, and that their own divine union is on its way. This love is not just for you. It's a message to the world that God is in control. It will inspire others to hold fast to their faith, to trust in the journey, and to know that in God's time, everything will fall into place perfectly. Your divine union will shine brightly, not only in your life, but in the lives of those who have witnessed your waiting and trusted God's plan. This love will be a testament to what happens when two souls, destined by God, come together at the perfect moment. It will remind the world that true love is never by chance. It is always divinely appointed. This love is not just any love. It is the love you deserve, the love that has been ordained for you by God, and it is time for you to embrace it fully. Now is the time to release the past. Let go of the wounds that have held you back, the doubts that have clouded your belief in what's possible, and the fears that have kept you from fully opening your heart. But in order to receive this love, you must first make room for it by freeing yourself from the emotional baggage that has weighed you down. Your heart needs to be open, healed, and ready to embrace the beautiful love that God has prepared for you. You have learned valuable lessons along the way. You've learned what it means to trust in God's timing, to have faith when things don't make sense, and to believe in the love that God has set apart for you. Those trials weren't meant to break you. They were meant to refine you, to teach you the depth of your worth, and to prepare you to step into the fullness of the love you are about to receive. Chosen one, your true love is coming. Trust the process. Trust in the journey that has brought you to this moment. The waiting is over, and now you are stepping into the love you've always deserved. Hold your head high, because the love that God has prepared for you is on its way, and this time it will be different. This love will be everything you've hoped for and more. It is the fulfillment of God's promises in your life, and the world will see it unfold in ways that are beyond your imagination. The love you deserve is coming, and with it comes the beautiful life that God has always had planned for you.